Hi, congratulations on your new RV. We're really excited for you. Please make sure before you're signing that you bring the following items with you. If you're a cash buyer, please make sure that you bring a cashier's check, no personal checks at time of signing, or you may bring actual cash. If you're a finance customer, please make sure that you bring proof of insurance listing your specific lien holder. If you need that information, please call us ahead of time. Also, make sure that you bring all valid driver's license of all persons that will be listed on the title. If you have a trade that you're trading in with us, please make sure that you bring your 10-day payoff as well as your title and all persons who will be listed on the title of that trade. Arrive 30 minutes early before your appointment time so we can properly inspect your unit, and also make sure that you have the fridge on and running prior to arrival. If you have any questions, please feel free to give us a call at 810-686-0710. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Hello, this is Mike with TradeWinds RV Center, here to congratulate you on your purchase of your JAYFLIGHT SLX 212 QB travel trailer. I'm here to walk you around it, show you how to use a few things, get the best out of your camping experience. Let's start by talking about arriving at the campsite. A couple things to take into consideration when parking. On your campsite, there'll be plenty of room for your awning to come out. Then on your off campsite, I just need you to think about where your power and water connections are going to be. Your power is going to be just above your tires, as is your water for campsites. So park accordingly so you can utilize the facilities at the campsite. Once you arrive, first thing we're going to do after unhooking our hitch is level our unit. Your unit comes with a power tongue jack. Night docking light, should you arrive at night, simply retract or extend to raise till you've got your unit level. Once you've got your unit level, before I get to that, if you lose power and can't get this up and down by power, you do have a manual override. You have a hand crank right here, and underneath this rubber stopper, you can use that to get this up and down if you don't have power. Speaking of power, check your batteries. Make sure your battery posts haven't wiggled loose going down the road over time. Once we got our unit level, we're going to stabilize it. All four corners of your unit have these scissor stabilizing jacks. Hand 3/4 inch hand crank. Run these down as I do. I'm going to recommend stabilizing jack pads. Jack pads are going to protect the feet of your stabilizing jacks from dirt and debris and hot blacktop in the summer. Get a 4-pack of those with your 10% off coupon. Put them down and run these down just until they're taut. Now remember, we've already got our unit level, so once you have any type of resistance on this hand crank, stop. Remember, we're just trying to get our unit stable. We already have it level. So go around all four corners. You can run these down with a impact driver or a drill gun, 3/4 inch on the end. Run it down in a matter of seconds. I just recommend when you get to the bottom, slow down, because again, you don't want to raise this up any. Got our unit level and stable, we can hook up our power and water. Power cord is stored inside your storage here. Big long 30 amp cord. Plugs into the side here. At the end of that 30 amp, if you ever need to plug into a 110, you have a 30 to 15 amperage reducer. Got your power hooked up. Let's hook up our water. At campsites, we will hook up to city water connection. First and foremost, your water pressure regulator. This water pressure regulator is going to reduce the water pressure to 40 to 50 psi. It's going to protect the lines in your unit. Use this when putting fluid in here. Hook that up. Hook up your hose, but don't turn your hose on yet. Come to the back of your unit here to your hot water heater. All we're doing at this point, folks, make sure our drain plug's back on. Throw some plumber's tape around that, not putty, that'll gum up on you. Get that on there nice and snug. Once that's in there snug, you can go ahead and turn that hose on. After the hose has been on for a few minutes, go inside, open up your water taps, get a nice steady flow of water going through those. Make sure there's no more air in the lines. Once you got water in all the lines, you can go ahead and turn on this hot water heater from indoors. Now let's say we're going to go camping and we're not going to use city water. We're going to go dry camping, or boondocking as they call it. In that case, we're just going to fill up our potable or fresh water tank. No need for a water pressure regulator here. Simply fill it up with a hose. Don't leave it unattended while you're filling it. Two ways to tell when it's full. One, there's an overflow valve right here. Or two, on the inside where you check the levels of your battery in black and gray tanks. You can also check your fresh water tank. Once that's full, remove your hose. Put your cap back on. And then when you want to utilize that water, you turn on your water pump from indoors. Don't turn on your water pump when hooked up to city water that's already pressurized. All right, we got power and water. Let me go ahead and walk you around the rest of the unit. Starting here on your off-camp side rear, again, our hot water heater. That is a flue for your furnace. If you're running your furnace, steer clear of that. It will get hot, and make sure it's never blocked. There's a low point drain for your freshwater tank. Again, freshwater tank. Cable hookup for the campsites, your power. You have an outdoor hot and cold shower. Your city water connection. It's your black tank flush. We'll talk about this when we leave the campsite and dump your black tanks. There's your black and gray tanks and your low point drain for when you're at the campsites. Again, over here, your pass-through storage. Your propane does have a cover and a regulator. Simply point it toward the tank you wish to be using. Lefty-loosey to open. And that'll show green when you got gas in there. There we go. That'll turn red when the gas is out. Again, your battery post. Make sure those haven't wiggled loose. Your pass-through storage with your hitch work in it. On your awning, you have a pitch adjust. Let's say it's raining and your campsite's down there. Simply pull down on this. That's going to run all the rainwater off it this way. Keep it off from your campsite. Your entry door, big LED lighting, a couple outdoor speakers. This is the vent for your microwave. In your bedroom inside, you have a TV mount. You can unsnap that from indoors and bring it out here and snap it on. There's a cable of 110 for that. And around back here, your spare tire with a cover. You're also prepped for a Furion backup camera. Device you can purchase from our store. It sits on the dash of your tow vehicle, giving you a backup camera for the unit. That about covers everything out here. Let's go take a look inside. So the first thing I like to point out in all units is the fire extinguisher. Make sure that you and everyone that's camped with you knows that the fire extinguisher is located at the entry doorway in case of emergency. Just to the right of that on the floor is your 12-volt carbon monoxide propane detector. Now the reason I mention that's 12 volt, it's always running off your battery. So if you are out dry camping, nothing plugged in charging your battery, if you're going to be gone for the day, disconnect your positive battery post to keep this from running your battery down while you're gone. In the entry doorway also, 110, interior, exterior lighting, your awning. You're only going to want to run that awning out until that flap falls down to 90 degrees and you can see that brown bar. As you see, it will continue to run itself up and will run itself up backwards. So keep an eye on it when you're running it out, and make sure you only run it out as far as you need to. As I run it back in, I will talk about this control panel. So here's where you check your brand new battery. Your freshwater button, I said that's the button that you can hold to tell when your potable water is full. Next to that, your black and gray tanks. Down here all the way on the left is where you turn on your water pump if using potable water. Water heater if on gas, water heater if on electric. It does make a difference. Choose correctly. Run your awning back in here. And then we'll continue our tour. Shut your exterior lights off. And close our door. They call these slam locks. They work best when slightly slammed. Individual lighting here. Self-explanatory microwave. You have a light and a fan. The glass top here makes an excellent backsplash. Turn on your panel light here. Turn that to light. It turns red. Hit your spark and there's your flame. Same thing on your oven. Turn it to light. Hit your spark here and then set it to the desired temperature. No need for a pilot light. Rock your panel light down and it becomes an oven light. Your table here will wiggle up and those legs will remove. You can take that table, set it down on these lips here, put your back cushions on top. That'll give you another sleeping quarters. Same thing over here. This will jackknife access to your water pump and heat, and that will lay down for another sleeping quarters. Emergency exit window, individual lighting here. You're all prepped for a TV up here. Here's the backer. Here's where your cable and 110 will plug in. If you put a TV in here, there is a little green light here. Turn that green light on before running your digital channel scan for local channels. It's a digital channel enhancer and it'll allow you to pick up more channels. RV Technology sound system. Turn that on. Bluetooth, AM, FM, DVD, CD player. So we got music indoors. If it's red, it's off. Now just outdoors. Or both. Touch it once to mute it, hold it in to shut it off. Furrion fridge here, controls for that. Inside, right here. Down below that is going to be an access panel for your breaker box and fuses. 30s and 15s in here. Highly recommend having a handful of those with you when you go camping. Coming down the hallway here. Before I go any further in the hallway, there's your smoke alarm right above your kitchen dinette. Back down the hallway to your thermostat. Turn on the AC real quick. Turn it down and get that to come on. It only goes down to 55 on the AC, and it's probably 35 in here right now. So let's switch to the heat. Crank the heat up. I know you can't read this very well with this camera. There's your heat. I'll shut our heat off. Coming into your bathroom. Just want to mention you got a 110 with GFCI reset in here. Lighting. A hand crank open. Exhaust vent. Access panel to the plumbing in the back of your shower. Again, in here you're prepped for a TV. If you pull this little handle forward here, that'll release this. This same TV will snap outside. Cable and 110. This is where you're pre-wired for solar. Leave that there for the techs to use if you ever decide to wire this whole thing for solar. Accent lighting here. One touch lighting here. And of course storage underneath your bed. That about covers everything on the inside. Let's act like we're leaving the campsite. Close it up. What I like to do, shut off my main light, because then I can walk through and see any individual lighting, or one touch lighting as I call it, that needs to be shut off. With all of our lighting's off, make sure all doors and drawers are closed, everything is secure for travel, and exit your unit. Now the biggest thing on these steps, make sure they're all the way open, otherwise this could catch on it when they come up. Set that inside, lock your door, lock and deadbolt your exterior door, lift and turn this handle, and you're ready for travel. At this point, we're gonna bring up all of our stabilizing jacks, unhook our power, our water, and our cable, and head on up to the dump station. Now at the dump station, we're at a campsite, we're gonna dump these two low point drains. If you were out boondocking before leaving, you can go ahead and dump that low point drain. That'll dump all of your fresh water. Come back up here and hook up your sewage hose. First thing we do is pull our black handle. That black tank is going to be your sewage. Once it sounds like that's no longer draining, step inside the door, press your black water button, see if it's empty. If it is empty, leave this black handle open. Again, with your water pressure regulator, hook up the hose at the dump station right here and turn that hose on for a good 5 minutes. Let that wash out your black tank, get all that nastiness out of there. Take that hose off, make sure that all that washout has drained out, and then close your black handle. Pull our gray handle. Gray handle is going to be cleaner waters, your sinks and your showers. That's going to clean your sewage hose out for you. Take your sewage hose and conveniently and sanitarily store it right here in your bumper. Now after your fresh waters have drained, one last thing to do is come up here and pull up on this water pressure regulator, or your pressure release valve, excuse me, That's going to let the remainder of your hot water out of here. Then you can pull your drain plug, close this up, and head on home. Again, thank you guys so much for your purchase. Hope you enjoy this JAYFLIGHT for many years to come. Happy camping.